Gender preference for children in less developed countries such as China has been a constant concern for many scholars and politicians due to the potential negative economic, social, political, and technological impacts on the country. Before the infamous one-child policy was implemented, the sex ratio between boys and girls was already unbalanced due to the high number of infanticides. When this policy was enforced in 1979, it was initially a temporary measure to reduce the numbers and aid in economic growth in the long run. Despite the original objective, it further widened the imbalanced sex ratio in children. In 1979, the sex ratio was 106 males to every 100 females in China. However, the same ratio drastically increased to 120 males by 2000, and has continued to more than 130 in some provinces such as Anhui, Jiangxi, and Shanxi. This means that more than 35 million women are missing. There is still hope that China will overcome this obstacle, as official statistics released this summer that the sex ratio at birth has fallen slightly to 118 males in 2010. The effects of this discrepancy are starting to be recognized throughout the nation. China has tens of millions of men who are destined to die single, as many will not marry or have children. Researchers predict these men may be psychologically vulnerable and prone to depression, aggressive behavior, and violence. This excess will also lead to an increase in sexual violence, general crime, and social instability. A World Bank report underlines that the most effective method to change things is to alter the fundamentals of a family system. In response, the government launched a new drive against sex-selective abortion by increasing safeguards, such as the necessity of 2 doctors present for an ultrasound and toughening punishments. Both institutions and individuals will be held responsible when violating the law, while the worst offenders risk having their medical license withdrawn. Since the 1980s, the availability of ultrasound technology has induced sex selection and has allowed people to abort female fetuses, despite the fact that sex-selective abortion is illegal. This is especially common in rural areas of China, where if the firstborn is female, a second child is permitted. Traditionally, the reason son preference is very dominant in China is because of the greater strength men possess opposed to women. Families believed a boy was necessary for the heaviest work in the fields, as communities used to rely on agriculture for income. Nevertheless, factories across the country offer plenty of jobs for daughters, allowing them to make a huge economic contribution to the household, as they are seen to be more careful and less troublesome. An example of places like these is the city Shenzhou. Shenzhou is notable for its title, International Necktie City of the 21st Century, where they make 350 meters of ties a year, as well as large quantities of gas stoves and code diagrams for speakers. Brute strength is less valued as new machinery is available to work soil. The development of a welfare system has brought other changes to China. Couples living in urban areas have more exposure to new ideas and are less pressured from extended family to follow old beliefs and habits. Evidently, in both towns and villages, marital ties between husband and wife have become more important than the filial links between parent and child. More young couples are living apart from their families, and few parents can count on their daughter-in-laws to look after them. Instead, daughters were returning to visit their parents carrying gifts and money.
Created using Powtoon.